So Congress is desperately trying to get a war powers resolution passed that would block Trump from doing an illegal war with Iran. Now, the crazy thing is, like, we're already involved in the war, and this is already illegal. It's already unconstitutional. We should really be talking about impeachment right now. It's not like to just, pass something that reiterates that Congress is the branch of government that has the ability to declare war. It's like, we already all know that, right? So I give these people credit for trying to do something, but we are so far past. I mean, it is time to just impeach the guy. It really is that simple, right? But some of the people leading the fight, so you have Representative Thomas Massie, who's the libertarian MAGA congressman. He's sort of like this era's Ron Paul in a way. In fact, Thomas Massie is more like Ron Paul than Rand Paul is like Ron Paul. So he's one of the people leading a charge here. But you also have Ro Khanna, the Democrat, who's leading a charge here. And you also have Tim Kaine in the Senate, the Democrat, leading the charge. So Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer was asked about, hey, do you support Tim Kaine's resolution to rein Trump in and block war with Iran? And ready for this? Schumer didn't answer directly a question from NBC News about whether he supports the Kaine War Powers Resolution, saying on Tuesday, quote, I believe Congress and Senate Democrats, if necessary, will not hesitate to exercise our authority. What the fuck does that mean? If necessary? We are so far past being there. What are you talking about? So Ro Khanna saw this and he said, what in the world does this mean, Chuck Schumer? I believe Congress and Senate Democrats, if necessary, will not hesitate to exercise our authority. This is why your numbers are toxic with our base. They want us to be the anti-war party again. So here you have a Democratic member of Congress directly calling out the Democratic leader in the Senate and saying, what the hell does this mean? This is pathetic. And this is why our base hates you, is because what? Do you low-key or high-key support Trump and Netanyahu doing a hot war with Iran? Do you think this is all going to go fucking swimmingly? Here's Tim Kaine. He's the one who's leading the charge in the Senate. He went on MSNBC on Morning Joe and he said the following.
When I got elected to the Senate in 2012, I told myself that if I ever had the chance to stop an unnecessary war of the kind we were living through then, I would do everything possible to do that. And that's why I filed this resolution.
But I got to follow up. I mean, you even just said yourself that this problem has a precedent, the need for congressional approval being run over. So why and how would this be different with this bill, especially with this president?
So here's what I know, Mika. I filed a similar bill after President Trump took the strike that killed Soleimani back in 2019 or early 2020. And I basically said the U.S. should not be at war with Iran. And two Republican houses, a Republican Senate and a Democratic House, backed me up on that. We passed that resolution. It went to the president's desk. He vetoed it. And we couldn't override the veto. But we noticed something interesting. President Trump dialed back the aggressive actions toward Iran because he saw that both bodies, including significant numbers of Republicans, were telling him our constituents don't want a war. In some ways, I view this resolution as reminding Donald Trump what he has said since 2016, which is the U.S. should not be in endless wars in the Middle East. And you can tell the wording coming from President Trump and his advisors is somewhat mixed messages. Some want to go all in against Iran. Some are reminding him that he ran against endless wars in the Middle East. I hope this resolution will send a message to him, to Israel, and to Iran that the U.S. does not want to be at war with Iran. If they attack the U.S., we'll defend ourselves. If they attack U.S. troops, U.S. consuls, will defend ourselves. But what we don't want is a war with Iran right now, and I hope and expect that a majority of my colleagues believe that.
So Tim Kaine leading the charge, trying to block Trump from doing this. Now, by the way, there's going to be a lot of hay made about the bipartisan coalition that's fighting back against Trump when it comes to this stuff. You ready for this? Let me just ask you, before I show you, let me just ask you, number one, how many politicians do you think have already signed on to this attempt to block Trump from going to all-out war with Iran? That's question number one. Question number two is, of that number, how many are Republicans? Before I show you, I want you all, let's play this game. Let's play this game. How many politicians in total, both in the Senate and the House, have signed on to blocking war with Iran? That's question number one. Question number two is, of that number, how many are Republicans? Okay, ready? Do you got your numbers picked out in your head? You can pause the video, figure it out, whatever. Here we go. I got the numbers for you right here. At least 32 members of Congress have now signed on to efforts against the Trump-Vance administration's move towards war with Iran. So you have 32 members of Congress. You ready for this? One of them is a Republican, Thomas Massie. One. You have 31 Democrats, which, by the way, that's also not nearly enough, but only one Republican. Only one. And then Senate War Powers Resolution and Senate No War Against Iran Act, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 who have signed on to that in the Senate. Every single one of them is a Democrat. One of them's an independent, Bernie Sanders, but he caucuses with the Democrats, so file that under the Democrat category. In the Senate, 9 Democrats trying to block it. Again, not nearly enough, but 9 Democrats trying to block it. 0 Republicans. In the House, 1 Republican, Thomas Massie. And he's a unique case because, like I said, he's this era's Ron Paul. He's a libertarian. Libertarians on certain issues are principled, and they will stand up against the Republicans on those things. But that means, Marjorie Taylor Greene, where you at? Now, I hope she signs on. She's made some noises like she maybe would. To this point, she hasn't. Maybe she will. I hope she will. I hope she will. But where are the anti-war MAGA voices? Where are they? What are they doing? Right? You got some media figures who are tepidly sort of, I'm not sure this is the best idea, sir. Strategically, I kind of disagree with it. This is chicken shit stuff, bro. As Prem Thakur points out here, there's a new Economist YouGov poll that just came out. Americans strongly disapprove of U.S. involvement in the conflict between Israel and Iran. Only 16% of Americans support U.S. war with Iran. 16%. Now, what are the numbers like in the House and the Senate? Is it only 16% of our representatives who are saying, yes, war with Iran? No, it's quite the opposite. The percent, if you broke this down as a percentage, and I'm not good at math, you guys can maybe do the math for me. But what are we talking about? About 5% or fewer of our politicians in D.C. are actually standing up and saying no war with Iran? Stop and think about that. Stop and think about that. So about 85% of the country says no war with Iran. So if our government was representative of us, the people, wouldn't 85% of the people in Congress say no war with Iran? Instead, we live in fucking bizarro land where the Israel lobby has bought our government and our government is packed full of warmongers, right? And only like 5% of our politicians are standing up for 85% of the American public. Oh my God, bro. This is so disturbing. Like, really? We're doing this shit again? We're doing this shit again? Another giant war in the Middle East, except this time it'll be worse than Iraq because Iran is a much bigger, much more powerful country, and Trump is leading us? The fucking guy who's got the IQ of a mosquito, he's the one who's gonna... Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. So, shit. Call your Congress people. Yell at them. Tell them you better fucking sign on to the House War Powers Resolution. You should also say, impeach Trump immediately. Call your senators, say sign on to the Senate War Powers Resolution and the Senate No War Against Iran Act. And impeach again. Impeach, because this is fucking nightmare, bro. Fucking nightmare that we're witnessing. But I'm happy to see that at least some Democrats are getting the ball rolling, and it's on us to do a full court press, apply all the pressure in the world to Congress, to the Senate, go out there and scream from the top of our lungs. It's got to be grassroots resistance and pressure from liberals and lefties who will not shut the fuck up about being anti-war. It's got to be us to overwhelm everybody and make them feel like, oh my God, we can't do this. There's going to be a fucking... This country's going to explode. It's a fucking powder keg. There's going to be protests. There's going to be riots. It's going to be chaos. It's going to be pandemonium. That's what they need to feel. So let's get to work. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.